YouTube Prop Guy here. We have a gigantic stack of comics to go through today. We got all kinds of good things, reprints, regular issue updates, even some Silver Age keys, and I think a few, maybe a Bronze Age key. So let's dig through. First one is Amazing Fantasy 15 Facsimile reprint. Just came out this past week, or a week before, one. Glad to finally have a really nice copy of First Appearance of Spider-Man. There's been some in the past. There's been German reprints. There's been Marvel Tales. There's been Marvel Legends. There's been a Marvel Milestone. But they usually have like a board or something. Something like this is just really nice to have. And it reprints all the ads. It reprints the whole story, the whole book. Really nice. I think next week's got Incredible Hulk #1 coming out. So if you really like these reprints, I was just getting some of them. Next, this is a Silver Age key. This is Aquaman #29, first appearance of Ocean Master. If you saw the Aquaman movie, you should know who Ocean Master is. He's Aquaman's half-brother. But this is a low grade, but it's still pretty cool. Looks really good in Mylar. I really just think it's neat. I just love the cover of it, honestly. But the fact that this key is really cool, too. Next we got Batman 181 Facsimile reprint. So Marvel's had so much success with these, now DC has started to do it too. Even though they're not too happy about it, but because they're selling better than their new issues, but still cool. This is first appearance of Poison Ivy. In fact, this is, if you want to get the actual issue, this is one of those Batman keys that's actually really cheap still compared to other things. But surprisingly cheap still. You can get them, a couple $100. So, up next, we have a Silver Age Green Lantern #24. I think this is a key just because of the first appearance of this, but it's not like it's a major key or anything. But just a really cool issue, I think. I love the cover. I love black space covers. They're just so hard to find and still look presentable many, many years later. Obviously, this one's pretty low grade. We got some spiral, lots of stains and chips and cracks, but it's still a cool Silver Age Green Lantern cover, so awesome pickup. Up next is a one-shot from the Deceased line of comics that's come out recently. Basically DC's version of Marvel Zombies. This is A Good Day to Die. I've not read it yet, but it does look good, so that'll be interesting. Up next, continue with our theme of Deceased. Deceased #5. Haven't had a chance to read this yet, but I've been really enjoying this Deceased line. 6 should be out soon, and I'll be finishing it up. Detective Comics 1010 and 1011 and 1012 and 1013. So move from Deadshot to Mr. Freeze. And this one I'm excited to read. It's a 6-issue miniseries from Neil Adams. So he's put out a new series, Batman vs. Ra's al Ghul. Neil Adams is one of my favorite artists. He's just so instrumental in 70s DC stuff. Such a great style. So I got #1 and #2. Need to read those. Up next, I've got Hellboy and the BPRD, Satan Returns, #2. This is 2 of 3, so it's not going to be a very long series. I've got 6 through 8 of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina to read. I love the first part. Looking forward to the second part. I really love the Netflix show too. So. Up next, I picked this up just because of the cover. It's a cover swipe of Afterlife of Archie #1. This is Creature Features Comics #1. Just cool cover. I'm a sucker for a good cover. Next is True Believers #1. Punisher's first appearance reprint. These True Believers reprints aren't bad for $1. I mean, get you a cool cover. But they're not as nice as those new facsimile reprints that Marvel and DC both have been putting out. So I hope that they do that with this soon. And DC has to copy them, so we now have a dollar reprint for Watchmen #1. Unfortunately, DC doesn't do the original cover on theirs, so I don't know. I got True Believers, Uncanny X-Men, Days of Future Past. This one, I couldn't help myself. I picked it up just because it's an awesome cover. It's Batman 451, Joker with a machine gun and shooting at a bunch of bats, and Batman's coming up behind him. Just cool run in the 80s. Had some neat covers. Like this one too, which is also a key. This is Batman 457. It's the first appearance of Jason Todd in the Robin suit. So, pretty cool to have. This next one, I just think it's an interesting history, so I picked it up. It is DC versus Marvel Comics. It's #4. I can't remember if this is the last issue of it or not. And then they had the Amalgam Comics for a while and everything. But just cool issue, cool piece of history. Next one is Dark Knights, the Batman Who Laughs special edition. This was free originally for Batman Day, but I picked it up for like $4. Just a neat cover. Kind of curious to read it. This one is pretty neat. I just picked it up just because the cover's really cool. It's Edgar Allan Poe's Snifter of Terror Season 2, issue #1. And it's a cover swipe of Captain America Comics #1, but it's done in like a painting style. Just really bizarre cover, really cool. I had to pick it up. Anytime I see Edgar Allan Poe punch Hitler, that's pretty interesting. This next one I picked up just because of it's a cool looking cover. It's a one-shot from Marvel, Bizarre Adventures. They used to have this comic back in like the 60s or 70s for a while, and they brought it back just this year just for a one-shot. So for the 80th anniversary of Marvel, to kind of help celebrate. But just kind of cool watching Dracula take on the Wolfman there. This next one's a classic Neil Adams cover, Batman 251. This facsimile reprint. Just had to pick that up just because it's a classic cover. It's actually not a bad story either, but that cover is just beautiful. Up next, I have Warlord of Mars Attacks #4. Pretty neat cover there. Next, I'm excited to read, I haven't read it yet, is Marvel Comics 1000. But I went with one of the Captain America variants, him taking out a bunch of Nazis, and you got, looks like some Mariner helping him out back there with the tank. Just pretty neat. Up next, I've got one I picked up just because it's a cool horror type cover. It really reminds me of the old EC covers a little bit. This is Phantom Stranger #25. Very low grade. I actually got this for free, of all things. This guy's like, yeah, just have it. So, pretty neat book. Just awesome cover. Great artwork. I have to figure out who did the artwork on this because it's really nice. Up next is House of Secrets #92, facsimile reprint. This is the first appearance of Swamp Thing, for all you Swamp Thing fans. Up next, I picked this up just because of the gimmick. I was curious about it. Amazing Spider-Man Venom 3D #1. Basically, this is Amazing Spider-Man 300, reprinted in 3D, and they give you 3D glasses. It was interesting. Obviously, it's a good issue just to read, period. And it's a big key because it's the first appearance of Venom. The 3D wasn't half bad. I've seen better 3D, but I've also seen way worse 3D. So it was interesting. It was a cool try. Up next, one I really love this cover on. Fantastic Neil Adams cover, and I hope to have a original one someday. Batman 232 with Robin the Teen Boy Wonder. This is first appearance of Ra's al Ghul and also his daughter Talia. Just great book. Up next, I jumped on the Moon Knight bandwagon. Moon Knight comics are shooting way up. Unfortunately, this is not Werewolf by Night 32, his first appearance, but it is his second appearance, Werewolf by Night 33, which I actually think's got a better cover than 32. It's not worth as much as 32, but still awesome key to have, really cool. Up next, we have The Demon. This is the original Demon run by Jack Kirby. This is number 16, so this is the last issue of that run. So it's kind of interesting. I've got number 1, now I have number 16. I got the whole bookends, so I might try to pick up the issues in between. They're not usually that expensive, so it'd be kind of cool to have a whole run of something. Up next, I can't remember if I've posted this one before or not, but it's Amazing Spider-Man number 353. Doc Ock appearance. This one's pretty low grade, lots of staining, spine roll, covers off center, terrible edges, but you know, it's still a pretty cool cover. It's an early Spider-Man. It's a good Doc Ock cover, so pretty nice to have. And we're moving to our final two here. Continuing with Spider-Man, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 40. This is the origin of the Green Goblin. This is also completes a little bit of the arc that starts with Amazing Spider-Man number 39, where Green Goblin learns Peter Parker's identity as Spider-Man. This is the next issue of that. This is also the second issue that John Romita Sr. did when he started his run on Amazing Spider-Man. Probably my favorite Spider-Man artist after Ditko. But 39 actually is his first one. This is a lot later. This is low grade. I've got chips out of it. I think might be detached from this top staple. A lot of chipping, a lot of wear on the spine, a lot of cracks and creases, a little bit of faded color. I got yellow pages, but I don't care because I've got this for a really good deal, and 30 bucks. It's an awesome Spider-Man. One of my favorite covers of all time, so really happy to pick this up. And last but not least, and the least, I have Luke Cage Hero for Hire number 1. This is a fantastic Bronze Age key. This is actually about low to mid grade. It's not bad. Bottom staple is detached. A lot of spine wear. Some wear in the corners. A lot of chipping. Some creases. Colors are actually still pretty good though. And it looks like off-white to yellow pages. So not bad. Really cool issue you have. Pretty big Bronze Age key. He's only the second black superhero in all of comics. I think the first being Black Panther. I think Fantastic Four 52, is that his first appearance? Somewhere around there. Then obviously that was in the 60s and he didn't come out till 72, 71, 72, somewhere around then. So quite a big gap, but still an awesome key. This book peaked pretty high right when the Netflix show came out, but it's dropped a little bit, it's cooled off a little bit. But hopefully with Disney Plus, I think it might pick up a little bit if they announce something with Luke Cage in the future. So awesome key to have regardless though. That's all for now. Got a lot more stuff coming your way, a lot more proper replica videos. So we work on that, getting those out to you soon. Till next time, see ya.